to see or hear us. You're here to watch the greatest rodeo in the world. What we want to do is tonight share some of the Old West with you, the history. I was born and raised in the state of Nevada, and the sagebrush and the big valleys and the high mountains, that's about as Old West as you can get. But we're proud of our heritage from every state in the Union, every province in Canada, our country of Australia, where we share interest with all of our contestants. And tonight, we want to take you back in time and history and talk about what made rodeo tonight, yesterday, and the day before, and what will keep our heritage living on for decades to come. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be one of the greatest openings as we pay tribute to yesterday and today and tomorrow that you'll ever have a chance to share. And Boyd, we're talking about our lifestyle.
You bet we are, and as we look to the National Finals Rodeo, Bob, so often we think of it as the final step in the race for a world title, but the thing to keep in mind is that these athletes have chased those white lines down the road all year long, starting back in November of 1990 to try to chase the rainbow that would lead them here. They drove down the road when they should have been sleeping. They nodded their head when they should have been in a hospital someplace, but they did it because they had tried. They wanted to be here. They chased the rainbow, and there's gold at the end of the rainbow, some nearly $2.5 million for athletes to ride at. So as we salute our opening tonight, we need to keep in mind that it has been a prosperous future, a prosperous, gradual growing of the great sport of professional rodeo, and tonight we continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, someplace in West Texas, northern Nevada, eastern Arkansas, and the Canadian Badlands, I know there are some, somebody hollered, hit 'em up, move 'em out, let's drive 'em. It took cowboys, it took cow people, men and women of all kinds, creeds, and colors, and that's when it all began. It could have been in the streets of Laredo or Pecos on the 4th of July in the 1800s, but this is what rodeo is all about. Not just riding bucking horses and roping steers, but there were other performers from the ranches that came across. And it begins like this. There was an event once called Trick Roping, and it looked like this. The brass bands played. The people came from far around to watch cowboys and cowgirls do their thing. There was always a master, of course, with a rope in his hand. Jerry Wayne Olson, a second generation, proud of his heritage, can display that tonight with an ocean wave and a butterfly. The hand with the rope in a rancher's cowboy would find a place, a horse, or a pretty lady in which to display his talents. The crowd would applaud. Well, he'd find his way to fame in one form or another. But of course, our friends from Texas, well, we had rodeo and they had Will Rogers. And if we can say to the late great gentleman, the Texas skit probably has become better known than any other part of our performing world. Ladies and gentlemen, rodeo had to have its start when Will Rogers came into play. Who else in the world but a Texan, a politician, an orator, and a great writer would have made this famous. To the trick ropers of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, this is contract performing at its finest. We've talked to the people of the world about the Romans, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Roman riding, or Rosenback riding, depending on how you would look at it, has been a part long before rodeo when man and horse would come to the parade ground. Kings and queens and the victors of the battlefield would have given us the example of how to perform. Before millions on that parade field, he would leave to the battle in armor, hoping to become the victor, the pride of a good horse, and the pride of this warrior's ability. With fire, alive, and Mr. Max Reynolds. Ladies and gentlemen, a pair of paints of beauty. Max, thank you. When we talk of the performance horses of the world, cowboys and Indians alike have always been proud of their past as well as their future. Mr. Dwayne Madsen and Warlock tonight will perform that. I'd like you to notice the squaw bit that he rides with. And again, fire comes into play. For those of you that have fear for the horse and the animal, he has been covered with a fire retardant coat for his safety and your worry. This gentleman and this beautiful Appaloosa horse have performed before millions, reproving to all mankind of the cowboys and Indians of yesterday their worth, their wise, and their beauty. Mr. Madsen, we say thank you, sir. And to Warlock, the beautiful Appaloosa horse, a thank you. From trick roping to trick riding, it had its point. It was an actual contest. We are so proud to bring 5 young Americans into this arena tonight.